6-year-old Lily, her face smeared with oatmeal remnants, extended a bowl to Mr. Oatmeal, her beloved Labrador, who wagged his tail in blissful ignorance. "Here you go, Mr. Oatmeal," she chirped, unaware of the sinister undercurrents that would soon envelope their lives. As the weeks bled into months, Mr. Oatmeal transformed from a playful pup into a formidable beast. What once were harmless nips became menacing bites, and the cheerful barks descended into ominous growls. Lily's innocent offerings of oatmeal turned into desperate attempts to placate a creature she no longer recognized. The day Mr. Oatmeal attacked the family cat marked a somber turning point. With heavy hearts, the family relegated him to the shed in the backyard, their laughter replaced by hushed conversations fraught with unease. Neighbor Mr. Henderson, a beacon of compassion, couldn't ignore the plight of the forsaken dog. Driven by his belief in redemption, he intervened, arranging for Mr. Oatmeal's rehabilitation through animal services. Under Mr. Henderson's care, Mr. Oatmeal received love and attention, yet an unsettling aura lingered. Nights were punctuated by the dog's restless pacing and the eerie echoes of growls. One fateful night, Mr. Henderson awoke to a chilling sight. Mr. Oatmeal, bathed in moonlight, eyes ablaze with an otherworldly glow, stared at him from his bedroom door. Mr. Henderson's heart hammered in his chest as he froze in terror, his mind grappling with the inexplicable sight before him. Was it a trick of the light, a figment of his imagination? But the intensity of Mr. Oatmeal's gaze felt all too real, piercing through the darkness with an unsettling presence. Mr. Henderson struggled to rationalize what he was witnessing. In that moment, a foreboding sense of dread washed over him, mingling with the echoes of past whispers about the dog's troubled history. With trembling hands, Mr. Henderson reached for the light switch, flicking it on in a desperate bid to dispel the ominous atmosphere. But when the room flooded with light, Mr. Oatmeal was nowhere to be seen, leaving behind only the eerie silence of the night. Mr. Henderson ventured cautiously into the hallway, his eyes scanning for any sign of the dog, but it remained elusive. Descending the stairs, he called out, "Mr. Oatmeal?" Only silence greeted him. A chill swept through the air, prompting a shiver as he approached the kitchen, where he discovered the back door gaping wide open, inviting in the wintry breeze. With a sense of foreboding, he moved to shut it, but a peculiar sight caught his eye. Paw prints, stark against the floor, their darkness reminiscent of charcoal stains, leading out into the backyard. Following the trail, Mr. Henderson found himself at the edge of the forest bordering his property. Despite his determination, an invisible barrier halted his advance, the shadows within the trees seeming to pulsate with an ominous energy. An inexplicable dread gripped him, warning of perils lurking beyond the veil of darkness. With a measured retreat, Mr. Henderson retraced his steps, his gaze fixed on the looming forest. Once back inside, he secured the door, a palpable sense of relief washing over him. His eyes fell upon the dog's abandoned bowl, a silent witness to the disturbing events. Disposing of it, he sought to purge any remnants of Mr. Oatmeal's unsettling presence from his home and mind. As the night settled in, casting eerie shadows across the kitchen floor, Mr. Henderson couldn't shake the feeling of unease that lingered like a specter in the air. Despite his efforts to dismiss the night's events, a nagging doubt gnawed at the edges of his consciousness. With a heavy heart, he retired to bed, the darkness outside seeming to seep into the corners of his room. Yet, sleep eluded him as his mind replayed the events of the evening, each detail etched with a haunting clarity. As dawn approached, casting a feeble light through the curtains, Mr. Henderson rose from his troubled slumber, the unanswered questions weighing heavily on his mind. With a wary glance toward the forest, he couldn't shake the feeling that the darkness held secrets far more terrifying than he dared to imagine. The mystery of Mr. Oatmeal and the ominous presence it left in its wake remained, a shadowy enigma, forever haunting the depths of his troubled thoughts.